And here we are. Hey, happy Hump Day Wednesday at your afternoon girlfriend Yvonne Daniels. 2 more days to the weekend. Yes. And I want to thank you so much for joining me for another special, take a deep breath segment. That is just so healing and it's what we need to do, I say, on a regular basis. But this is a great segment. I'm so excited. I have got the one, the only Miss Bria Ferguson of B.Nix Photography, based right here in Saginaw. Hey, Bria.
Hey, girl.
Bria's looking so fabulous. And Bria, I always like to highlight Saginaw businesses. And I see Bria around us so many different events here in Saginaw. I'm always out and about. She's always out and about taking. We actually happened to link up, I guess, a few weeks ago at
Yeah.
the NAACP Freedom Fund.
hmm
And man, I saw her website. I saw what she did, her pictures, and I was just like, oh, yes, I've got to have you on. All right. So, Bria, I have got to say that, when we're talking about taking a deep breath, which people need to do, and my whole thing is take a deep breath and let the world know it's okay to relax. All right. And there are
Yeah.
different things that we can do to relax and just, kind of get through our days. And photography is something because everybody likes a good picture. All right, everybody
hmm
likes to get fixed up, take a deep breath, show their authentic self, and so that is what photography does. So tell me first of all, how long have you been a photographer?
Ooh, we're going that way? Okay.
Give us the condensed version.
Okay, we're gonna try to do the snapshot version because I don't want to do the once upon a time version.
There you go.
So I have been in the photography game for over a decade. I have loved cameras since I was like sixth, seventh grade, and then I got serious with it like in 2012, 2013. And then I really got serious with it like business wise a few years later, like after that. So I've been doing this for quite some time. My first
Okay.
client was a bride at my church, which was terrifying but exciting.
Mhm.
And that's when I learned, like, oh, you can get paid for this?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Try it. And it just kind of stuck.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
cool. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Short version of that. All right. So I saw in your kind of bio, it says that you create impactful imagery and community for entrepreneurs who want to showcase their authenticity. So what is it like and what is your process for creating this impactful imagery? Because I assume that each client is different.
hmm
Go through I don't know if you go through probably not the same process because everybody is different. So what does that look like?
So typically, like you say, like not every process is exactly the same, but I do
Mhm,
have like a workflow that I stick to
mhm,
take all the deep breaths I can in between, right? So I have clients that come to me. They usually fill out a form of some sort. They let me know what they're looking for. And then I like to meet people either in person or like virtual. With COVID, it's been mostly like virtual, which is fine.
mhm,
And then from there, we create whatever needs to be done, whether that's a shoot plan, finding locations, a model, picking out outfits. I mean, it could vary.
mhm.
But for me, like creating the community part has always been a desire of mine, just because I feel like you don't see that a lot, especially in our community as like Black artists.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was really important to tie that in. And so I created a series called Composition, where I interview like different entrepreneurs and we highlight their journeys, and really just kind of talk about the nitty gritty
Okay.
of what it really means to be an entrepreneur, but also maybe some setbacks that have, you know, cause them to either pivot or do things a different way.
Mhm,
I'm in production of season 2 actually of that series, and so I've been doing it on YouTube. So that's kind of like the community portion of it, and
mhm.
also just teaching other people like how to do different things in the photography realm. Because again, it's not just about me.
Right.
And honestly, sometimes being a entrepreneur can get kind of lonely. So it's nice to have other people who are into some of the same things as you or like similar mindsets to kind
Right.
of help keep you going. Because I want to create something that will last and not just like a one-stop shop type of thing. So
Right.
yeah.
And like legacy. It's
hmm
like legacy. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
yeah, the people to be able to benefit for people down the line and for our future photographers, because there's somebody that's watching you now that's like, you know what, I want to do that. Yes, that's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about right now. So you want to have that and create that for them. So we're talking about what you create, so folks can actually go check out your work here at your website, bnixphotography.com. Yes,
Yes, yes.
yes.
That is where you can see just kind of like my overall work. If you want to see more behind the scenes stuff, it's either on YouTube or my Instagram, because those are the main places where I live. But yeah, if you want to check out my photo gallery, I have that on there. Inquire about services, you can have that on there. But if you want to see a little bit more action, I would definitely recommend going to the YouTube channel or my Instagram, because that is probably where you see me most like physically doing things instead of just a snapshot of something. So yeah.
And so, speaking of that, what is your YouTube channel and your Instagram handle?
So my YouTube channel and my Instagram are the same. So they're both B.Nix Photography. There's no underscores or anything. It was on Instagram, it was an underscore for a while,
Uh-huh.
and someone released me or somebody just let whatever their page go. And so it's no more underscore. So it's all B.Nix Photography. So
Okay.
nothing's different, just to kind of keep everything cohesive and easy for people to find me. But yeah, everything is B.Nix Photography.
All right, that's very cool. So, what's your typical client? Do you have a lot of entrepreneurs? And let me ask you this too: is it only entrepreneurs that you work with, or say like if someone wanted to just come, for a headshot, or not necessarily, or maybe like a family
Mhm.
photo, or do you do those kinds of things as well, or is it
Um,
just
so this is pretty much how I've done it. Like in before COVID, I was doing a lot of like family photos, weddings, a
yeah,
lot of in-person things, right? When COVID hit, I had to figure things out, or pivot, as people like to say. And
yeah,
so product photography became a huge source of not only income, but like learning curve for me. So I have clients who like ship their products to me from all over.
wow,
And so there's that aspect.
mhm,
I never say like, oh, I don't do anything anymore. I will say I'm not a fan of weddings anymore because they are very nerve-wracking for me.
okay,
I love, but it's a lot of hands-on work that was just too much for me. So
mhm,
I did my last wedding in Puerto Rico and was like, all right, it's been nice. And I was done after that. I have a few friends who are like, but I'm like, no, I do some little like smaller elope things maybe, but overall, like, weddings are kind of like not a thing anymore for me.
okay,
In terms of like family shoots or like portraits and things like that, I do a lot of headshots with like entrepreneurs and stuff.
yep,
They're trying to do a refresh or a
mhm,
branding session. That's usually like something on location, a little bit more styled.
right,
And then in terms of families, I've had things here and there, but again, like I'm speaking more to like people that I can relate to. I'm a single entrepreneur. I have no children, so I can't necessarily relate to a mom yet or a wife or anything like that. And so my realm has mainly been, and my focus has been my community of entrepreneurs, regardless of what they do for a living.
mhm,
And really, like you said before, like creating a legacy and something kind of that, and something that will last, not kind of, something that will last and something that people can go to. Because one of the biggest things I hear from not only my clients, but people even in my community space on like YouTube or Instagram is it's so hard to find a black photographer to do this, or especially a black female photographer. So I want to change that,
yeah,
and not even just in the photography space, but kind of like all things. So I do the creative styling. I outsource a lot of props, look at locations. I'm creating storylines for a lot of these brands. So they're literally coming to me for something from start to finish. But yeah, so that's kind of like where I'm at right now with everything. And then when composition came into play, that's when I was really like, okay, I was kind of living my little Oprah dream, like in
okay.
that moment. So
So
yeah.
you talk about composition. So what do you mean when you're talking about composition?
So composition is the name of the series where I talk with different entrepreneurs from all
Okay.
over. The premise is basically is because I know a lot of people now are like coming out with like podcasts and different things like that.
Yeah.
But for me, I highlight people that I feel like get missed.
Okay.
It's not the, oh, this person is trending, or they already like made it, so to speak.
Right.
In my eyes, these people have already made it. They inspire me daily, in various ways of different things that they do. So um we do have two photographers on season one that I talked to. We've got a girl, or a woman, I should say. We have a woman in Detroit. She quit her PhD and
Wow.
went full time with her business.
Wow.
And she actually quit the first day of our recording day, which I did not know that. So things like that happen,
Yeah.
or that I've come across.
Yeah.
She's Her episode is one of my favorites just because it was so fresh,
Yeah.
and I got her thoughts right as we were rolling.
Yeah.
But different things like that, and all these people are all over. They're not just local or in Michigan. So it's really just trying to like highlight those people. Just because again, I just feel like, especially with the social media space, people are always
Yeah.
like, "Oh, go to such and such because they've been." No, 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 no. The people that are building up to that moment, or even if they're already there, like they matter too. So just trying to bring that forth. There's a one photographer on season one. He talks a lot about how his spirituality like encompasses like his work and his daily lifestyle. And so you
Yeah.
have that too. So I try to bring kind of like a vast range of like different voices, different people, from all walks of life and from different types of backgrounds to showcase that.
Right.
Um, and really just to inspire people. It's one thing for me to show a photo, but it's another thing to hear someone's story,
Yeah.
on a wider range and go, okay,
Yeah.
all right. So composition was something actually that I've been wanting to do for over years now, but I just didn't know the category per se that I wanted to fall under until a friend of mine, we were talking, and one day, and she was just like, I'm just so sick of them, like they always like, don't get me wrong, I'm proud of these people, but like I feel like they always highlight the same people or people who are trending, and it was basically like a what about us thing. And so after that, I was like, oh, that's it. So I contacted a bunch of people. She was actually one of them.
Uh-huh.
And from there, it's been, people have loved it, and it surprised me because I was like, I don't know, you never know when you're doing something
Yeah.
new. After that, I was like, oh, okay, we got to keep this going.
When
So
I now I feel you on that whole shining the light on people that maybe
yeah.
everybody doesn't know. So
Mhm.
here, this whole compositions, I cannot wait to go to your YouTube channel to check out the let's see, well, this is series 2 or episode 2.
Season one is
Season,
already
season. Okay.
live.
All right.
Season two will be releasing. I've actually haven't said this aloud until now. Season two will be releasing like end of December into
Okay.
January.
Okay.
So after all the holiday fuss,
Yeah.
when people are, spending time with their family, so you get
Yeah.
some inspiration for the new year.
So let me ask you this, because this is just awesome. It is amazing. If someone wanted to be on one of the seasons, wanted to do an episode with you, how would they do that? Is it something that you just reach out to them? Can folks contact you? How does that work?
So I've gotten this question a few times, and it was one of those things like, I didn't think of that. I was just like, I'm gonna find these people.
Right.
I'll be honest. So like in season one, even all the way through season two, I prayed very, and I still do, like I prayed very hard about like, God, who are the people that I
Ooh.
highlight, because I did not want it to feel one like a that's my friend and I want to put the no, 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 no. I wanted to really feel as authentic, not only as authentic as possible, but it's not, this platform isn't for me. This
Right.
platform is something that God gave me years ago, and gave me confirmation months prior to even season one coming to fruition.
Mhm.
And so I actually had a list like longer than what's on season one and even what's on season two.
Mhm.
Some people decline, which is fine. Some of them I'm hoping maybe if I circle back for
Right.
season like 3, 4, 5, whatever, they'll be like, yeah, I'm ready now. They'll be like, yes.
Right.
Because there's some people I'm like, man, if people just heard their story, like I know it
Yeah.
would be off the chain. But right now I'm going through the list that was given to me by sweet baby Jesus. But I have had people ask me like, can they join? I'm a little kind of like up in the air about that, just because
Okay.
I don't want it to turn into a a takeover of the people and
That's right.
not God's people. And not to say like those aren't God's people, but it's kind of like a fine line. So I'm
Mhm.
pretty much getting the guidance of like whatever God tells me to do in that particular season that we're in production in. That's what I do. In season two, even in season two, it's still been finish that list and
Right.
we'll work on the rest later. So I'm like, okay. But I would love to have I would love it to get to a point where other entrepreneurs, they can submit their information if they
Mhm.
want. I
Right.
really wanted to I was really inspired too by like Issa Rae's series called A Sip, where she talks with different entrepreneurs, but a lot of these people have already like, for us, like made it. They're already in the industry, they're doing those things. And not to knock that, that's great, but just playing that fine line, you know. So, and there's some people I know like who have made it, but it's just like, you got other publications
Right.
that can take care of you for right now. So,
Right.
for right now, it's just what that list is, and that's my assignment. So I
Much,
say,
much respect to you and what you're doing, and I can just see this blowing up. I mean, this is something that's going to keep going. And here's the thing that I tell people too: you got to, once you get through this season two, and as the Lord leads you, because
mm-hmm.
that's who's leading you. But
Yeah,
sometimes too, it's like being ready, because I've seen people where they become very, very successful, and then once they become so successful, it's kind of like, I didn't think about all the success I was going to have. So how do I navigate and how do I handle
yeah,
this? So
yeah.
wow, I'm really excited for you. So here's something else too, that because you have been into, you talk about the people that have made it, but Bria, you've been in some big publications, girl. You've had your stuff seen. But tell us some of the publications that you've been in. Some that we'd be like, oh, really?
Oh god, I don't like to talk about myself, which is why I probably like composition so much, because I talk to other people. So this year alone, like, has really like, God has really been like, see, I told you, and I'm like, huh? What are you talking about? And it's also been the thing of like, you ask not because you have not. So now I've been more active in that too.
Mhm.
But I I have been in, so Riverfront, I think, was like the start of this year. So I was in Saginaw Riverfront, which meant a lot to me because that's like here in my hometown.
Yep,
I was born here, but I was raised in Ann Arbor. But to still like get acknowledged in my city, I feel like for anybody that means a whole lot.
for sure.
And then I've been in, before that, a few years back, I worked on the Water Box project with Jaden Smith and his team
Okay.
in Flint. And I photographed the launch of them announcing like the Water Box project, how it works, and different things like that. Now at that time I was not ready for anything. And that moment taught me a lot, but it was still like, what? And what's
Mm.
so crazy is the day before the lady reached out to me, I only almost deleted my Instagram, but we didn't do that because my friend hit my phone. That's a whole nother story. But anyway, so in terms of publications, I have been on Shondaland, the Shade Room, The Root, Jada Pinkett Smith's page, which to me is a publication within itself.
Right.
Saginaw Riverfront, Peer Space, Shout Out LA is probably some that I'm forgetting. um, but it's one of those things too, like you don't, I guess I never thought of that portion. It was
Yeah.
always like, how can I help? How can I help? And
Yeah.
I'm still like that to this day.
Mhm.
But to get the acknowledgement, and a lot of these people I never even met, like the Peer Space article, I was named top 8 product photographers in Detroit. And I was number 4 on the list, so top 5. So that actually, I cried on the sofa when I got that email. I didn't know. I guess there's a girl, she's been following my Instagram for a while, and she sent me an email. It was like, hey, I don't know if you saw this, but here's a link to. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And so I opened it. I was like, no. And I'm like bawling, crying. I'm like crying, calling my sister, like, what is it? And she's like, what? I'm like, yeah. So there have been moments in my career I'm like, does anybody, because after you do this for a while, and I've been
Mhm.
at this, like I said, for over a decade now, there are moments where you kind of feel like, is it working? Is anything gonna make an impact? Or do people see me? And not in the sense of like, look at me, more so like, does anybody feel what I'm putting out, you
Yeah.
know?
Mm-hmm.
And so this year has really been, I think I've been published 3 or 4 times this year,
Okay.
which was like a lot for me. So just to even see that, has been mind blowing. Like,
Yeah.
what? What? But yeah, so those are some. I hope to be on more next year. So I'm excited. I'm excited.
You will. You just dropped a gem there, and just your whole this whole story about, being seen, does
Mhm.
anybody see me? Because there are people out there that feel like that have been on their grind, that have been doing what they do, what they love for so long. And, it's just a testament to keep pushing, keep going, keep doing
Yeah.
what you do, keep being you, keep being authentic,
Mhm.
uh, you know, keep getting better and better and better, and people see you.
Yeah.
Somebody's always watching. That's
I
another.
know that's the biggest thing. I always tell people if you don't learn nothing else from me, someone is always watching you,
Yeah.
and it's not somebody that you would or you think is watching you. And 9 times out of 10, too, like I just updated my vision board the other day and I put it on my phone.
Mhm.
Vision is powerful, and when you ask for the things that you want, even if they seem very far-fetched,
Yeah.
say it anyway,
Yeah.
because you don't know where they could lead you, and they may not lead you in exactly the lane or the realm that you thought, but they're going to tie into something else later. And so I just always tell people like keep going, because people always there's a little group of photographers that message me all the time and they're like, you how do you keep up and da, da, da. And it's like, because I want to help. That is
Yeah.
what drives me. I want to be
Yeah.
here, and it has
Mhm.
nothing to do with trending or who, all that hoopla. Like I want to help, and I want to be here, and I deserve to be here too. You got to know that too, like
Yeah.
that you deserve to be here, even on the days when you feel like you don't.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I heard someone say, I think it was yesterday, that prosperity is not about just getting. Prosperity is about doing, about
Mhm.
being, about giving, as
Absolutely.
well. So that is all of that is prosperity. So let me ask you, because you know how you and I can go, girl. We can just talk, especially. This is so inspirational. So I just
One is my black Vanna White, y'all. She is my
never heard
Vanna
that.
White, okay, and we love her, okay. I love Yvonne. I love her so much.
My girl Bria. Oh, here's another thing too that's great for taking a deep breath and relaxing is laughter. Laughter is very good. So if you don't have
Yes,
some laughter, you got to find some laughter in your life. All right, so
listen.
you
It
know,
keeps you going for
yes,
real.
it does. It's healthy for you too. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
just real quick before we wrap this thing up, man, I tell you what, this time has gone by so fast. But
I know.
now, where do you see yourself in? A couple of questions. The condensed version. Where do you
Okay.
see yourself 5 years from now?
Mhm.
And man, what was the other question? I think I forgot what the other question was. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? And is this what you are? Do you think your purpose is? Is this what you think you were put here to do? Is this your love, or do you? Okay, go ahead and answer the first one first.
Okay, well, they're both very thick, so I'm gonna do my best.
Okay.
Okay, so the first one is 5 years from now.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm gonna be honest because I think this gets overlooked too, right? So I come from a background of my mom. We were. It didn't matter. The church doors was open. We was there. It didn't matter what was going on, right?
Okay.
So I'm a church kid. Okay, so church girl to this day. So I'm gonna be honest. I never thought I would get to this point. And when I say this point, like I didn't think I would make it to this age. There was a time where I didn't think I'd make it to this age. I didn't think I would make it to this caliber in my business. And I didn't think I would have, I mean, even this, like, I want to
Mhm.
interview you, like what? Like, oh, okay. I didn't think that at one point in time. And so um from getting a lot of my mental health in check and also staying true to myself and my spirituality, that has gotten me to where I am today. Let me say that first and foremost.
Mhm.
5 years from now, Ooh, I see a lot of things. I was always the child that never knew what they wanted to do. Okay. So I've changed my profession many times. I used to want to be a chef. I used to want to be all this stuff. I'm not domesticated in any shape or form. I mean, I can cook and stuff like that, but it's like who doing
Right.
it? 5 years from now, I have an agency. I have an agency where I connect other entrepreneurs, especially entrepreneurs of different minorities, to the photographers that they need, to the communities that they may need, or a community space that they may need. And also teaching. Teaching has always been something. I used to want to be a teacher at one point. Teaching is something that I love to do. But I also see myself traveling. So a lot of people don't know. I've always wanted to be a photojournalist. The B.Nix and all the things that you see now,
Yeah.
that was never like a, yeah, I'm gonna do that. No, no, no. I was just going with the flow. I mean,
Right.
you always got to be paid. You got to figure, you surviving. But I've always seen myself traveling. I've loved to travel. I've been to a lot of places, even at my little big age that I am now. And I see myself traveling and telling more stories, but in ways that I didn't think. And composition has really given me a space where
Yeah.
I can play around in that,
Hmm.
but also stay true to helping.
Yeah.
Um, and then in terms of purpose, whoo,
Now that may be that may be something too that is ever evolving. So I'm going to give you a
yeah.
little.
So I feel like that's always evolving, because like right now in this space now, I could be like, I want to do this, but
Right.
like in a year or so, it could change, and it doesn't make it bad. It's just I've learned some things, and I've tweaked a couple things.
Mhm.
But overall, I feel like my purpose has always been to inspire, no matter what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Inspire, and to be the little, or the black girl on the screen, or in the space that younger me wish existed.
Yeah.
Um, Now a lot of people have all these different people: Ava DuVernay, Shonda Rhimes. Like I look at those now, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm seeing a lot of
Yeah.
versions of me. Viola Davis,
Mhm.
beautiful dark skinned women doing things that I could only like dream of in my head. Growing up,
Yeah.
Oprah was the homie, right? And so
Yep.
now I have different versions of Oprah in different types of spaces. But yeah, I think my purpose overall is to inspire and to give back, in ways that I always say I want to have a moment where I do you get a card like Oprah did. I don't know how that looks. I know that sounds crazy. And I don't care, because it's only crazy till it happens. But yeah, I see myself like inspiring people, helping people, even like building physical communities,
Mhm.
and flipping the block, whether it's my hometown or another hometown or another space. Yeah, I see myself in a lot of spaces. I see myself directing some projects, and doing a lot of creative directing in that space. So I,
Well,
it's a nice little melting pot.
wonderful, because if as you're dreaming, I heard that I heard someone say, when you're dreaming, if it's not big enough to where you can say, I don't know how this is going to happen, but we going, then it ain't big enough. So
Right, yeah. So I'm like, like, okay. Yeah, like the other, like and I haven't even said this aloud till now. I'm talking with my therapist a few months ago, and she was like, so where do you see, what does healthy you look like, or what is healthy you doing? And I was like, and I was like, I'm on Netflix. And she's like, oh, and I was like, if Issa Rae can get on HBO, I can be on Netflix,
there you go.
just naming the things and not being afraid to say them, even if they sound so far fetched,
Right.
So I'm just now in the space of like, yeah, what's up, Netflix? How's it going? What's good?
That's where you should be. Bria, man, I tell you what, thank you all so much for watching this special edition of Take a Deep Breath with Yvonne Daniels and Bria Ferguson of B.Nix Photography. You've gotten much more than photography. I tell you what, check out her website, check out her YouTube page for compositions. I cannot wait to get there. Her Instagram also at B.Nix Photography. Hit her up for, headshots. If you're an entrepreneur, you're going to get so much more. She's doing all the things. So, man, we thank you for just, I thank you for talking to me for just a few minutes.
Yeah.
And I wish we had another 30.
I know. I'm like, can we get a
I know.
2-part special? I like those.
Yes. Well, this has been so inspiring. And once again, if you are doing that thing, if you're wondering, does anybody see me? Should I keep going? If you're just coming in on the back end of this, I encourage you to go and watch the entire video. Gems dropped. So inspiring. And so, Bria, man, I just see big things. From the first time I saw you, didn't know you a few years back. Like I say, I've seen you some everywhere.
Yeah.
I like the way you moved. And so I'm so glad I got a chance to actually sit down and talk to you. So I wish you much success. I look forward to having you back on. All right. You
Yeah.
continue to blow up and do the things and continue to inspire. So you keep doing that. Thank you so much. And girl, until the next event.
Hey, until the next time, right?
Have a good one, Bria.
All right, you too.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.